Hi everyone, FIFA Career Gems here. Thank you for tuning into my channel today and welcome to today's Youth Academy video on how to find a decent striker. Now you would expect when searching for a striker you'd have to put the parameter as attacker, but that is definitely not the case. I did a little experiment over on my Twitter page and these were the positions returned when you set the particular player type. So pause the video to take a note if you're searching for a particular player. And as you can see there, strikers, tall, strong ones, you set physically strong as your parameter, and if you want a pacey striker, set your parameter as a winger. And these are the ones. Playmakers usually return central midfielders, central attacking midfield, central defensive midfield, or centre forward. Attacker, as you would expect to find a striker, but you don't. You tend to find central attacking midfield and wingers, and defensive minders you get central defensive midfield, central midfield, and both fullbacks. And as with any youth academy scouting, it really is the best practice to try and get the best scouts you can afford with your budget. So you want 5-star experience, which means they will return a larger number of players, and 5-star judgment means they will return a better quality of player. So Barry Campbell becomes my third and final 5-star scout here in this career mode with Everton, to go along with Loic Garnier and Esteban Saavedra. So now it's time to send your scouts out to the leagues to try and find you some players. So Loic Garnier, 5-star is going to France. I'm going to set the player type as physically strong, so I'm looking for a decent number 9 type striker. Esteban Saavedra is going to England, and again we're looking for a physically strong number 9 type striker. And the final one, Barry Campbell, will send him to Argentina, looking for the next Higuain, again a physically strong striker. They always tend to get pretty good players returned from all of the top nations that you would expect, but two countries I do recommend you sending scouts out to is the Ivory Coast and Sweden. I've had some absolute gems from there in the past. So now keep a note of when your scout is returning. They'll be returning on the 1st of every month. So now I'm going to sim to the day before, which is the 31st. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save my game. That way, if the scout returns some rubbish players, I can just drop back on the previous save and load up again and hopefully get some better players at the second time of asking. Some people think it's a little bit of a cheat, but I like to think it's bending the rules to our favour. So all 3 scouts have now returned. Let's have a look, see if we've got any strikers amongst them, and we'll start off with the scout who was in France. So what we're looking for is a player at least over 16 years of age, and overall higher than 55, and a potential as high as possible. And obviously in this career mode I'm only looking for a striker. Ordinarily I would have signed a couple of these players if I was doing a youth academy career mode, but I'm only looking for a striker. And there is the first one, Jerome Gauthier, 16 years of age. He's got an overall between 49 and 67 and a potential between 75 and 94. So we'll sign him up and look at him in more detail in the youth academy. The rest of them we'll disregard. So now on to the second scout who was looking for players in England. I always send one of my scouts out to the team I'm managing in just to give the career mode a little bit of more realism. But looking at this batch of players, we're not looking like we're going to have much luck. A clean sweep of rubbish. So now on to the final scout who was in Argentina, and again some really good players returned from Argentina, but I'm only looking for a striker. There's one, Ronaldo Velasquez, 6'4" tall, overall probably a little bit low, likewise with his potential, but we'll have a look at him in the youth academy in more detail. Again, some of these players, if I were doing a youth academy career mode, I would sign them because they've got pretty decent overalls and potential. There's one as well, another good player, another excellent player. So Argentina, definitely a country I would recommend you scouting if you're doing a youth academy career mode. So now let's have a look at the players in the youth academy. So Jerome Gauthier, he's got a 57 overall, so it's not going to take too much training to get him up to that 60, so we can see his potential status. 6 foot tall and definitely a good foundation to work with. So we'll definitely promote him at some point. Centre back, 5'9", not tall enough for a centre back, so we'll disregard him. Velasquez, his overall is way too low at 50. It would take a long time to get him up to 60, so we'll release him straight away. Again, decent players in there, but I'm only looking for a striker. So we're only going to focus on Jerome Gauthier, getting him up to 60 rated, and then we can see his potential status, see if he's going to be one worth keeping. So now it's time to set up a training schedule to get that 57 increased up to 60 as quick as possible. So I'm looking for all hard difficulty drills for Gauthier, and the first drill we're going to use is speed shooting. The second drill we'll use might be one-on-one bucket race. Have a quick little flick through the rest. Yeah, we'll scroll back and use one-on-one bucket race. Third drill. We'll have a pass to the mini net. The penultimate drill, we'll use crossing scenarios. And the final drill, I think I'm going to have no option but to use a defensive drill in there. I don't think there's any more difficulty hard drills that we can use. No, there definitely isn't, so we'll stick a defending drill in there. Defend the mini net. Let's get that 57 up to 60 as soon as possible. Straight away he's grown +1 up to 58. Obviously this would be a lot easier if the -1 overall glitch wasn't in there. It only took a couple of drills and he was up to 60. So if we scroll down now, there he is, an exciting prospect, meaning his potential will achieve at least 86. So he's definitely a decent striker that we've found using the Youth Academy. And he's got 3-star skills and a 3-star weak foot as well, so not too shabby. So that is how easy it can be to find a striker using your Youth Academy scouts. Remember, if you want to find a tall physical striker, send your scout out looking for a physically strong type of player. If you want a pacey striker, send him out and look for a winger. But as always, I want to say a massive thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my YouTube uploads. FCG out.